KKHT wants you to meet the classiest guys in real estate.
This is Tim O'Neill, the icon of insurance.
I'm Chris Kelso, the Meister of Mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate. And together we are
the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate in the greater Houston area is hot.
So whether you're buying, selling, owning, or insuring real estate in the greater Houston area,
you need to check us out as we are the preeminent source for everything you need to know.
And now, they're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack.
Good morning, Houston.
We're almost good at that now.
We're almost, right? It's like we've been doing it for a little while.
You can't be in a bad mood after Uptown Funk is playing.
No, you really can't.
Absolutely impossible.
You can't. Or when you got some great guests in the studio like
we do.
Got.
Our great sponsors have done it again.
They have done it again.
They go out and they ferret out the best and bring them in.
That is correct. Absolutely. Every time.
So we have a PSA today.
We do have a PSA. First thing this morning.
Our Gina Devers.
Our very own Gina Devers. She's no longer a two-timer or a three-timer.
I don't even know. She's a
mini-timer. She's a multi-timer.
Multi-timer.
She just multi-times on us all the time.
So this is how this all happened. We were at a CRS meeting, the one that you didn't make, Chris.
I wasn't there.
I just want to point that out.
Yes, thank you very much.
Your other rat was there, and she and Vaughn Peterson with Clean Air. How's that, Vaughn? Pretty good plug there. Came out and said, we do a thing for DePelchin Home every Christmas.
Right.
And we brought them, TVs and toys and all sorts of good stuff, and went down there and you, of course, are just as an elf.
Yes,
and Eric Dominguez is dressed as Santa. We have a great time, and Gina and Vaughn have always shown up every year. They said, why don't we do a Christmas in July? Because, they're still there in July and August and all those other months. So, Gina, talk a little bit about what you're thinking about.
Well, thank you, Rob. Yes, this is something we do every year, and I believe, Chris, that was you that got me involved with that multiple years ago. Correct?
Multiple years ago, called you up and said, "Get your butt down there."
Absolutely.
Did you say that on Christian television or radio?
I said, "But."
Or TV?
I was very nice about it.
He was. And what struck me is the children. There was multiple kids in there, and one child in particular wouldn't talk to anybody, wouldn't play with anybody. And as weird as I am, I was able to get that one little kid to come out of their shell, and that was the greatest feeling on the planet. And the first time we went, I actually went back on Christmas Day. We went and bought 2 garbage bags full of toys ourselves, and went back on Christmas Day and sat and read books and handed out more.
I remember you and your daughter Haley were on the floor playing with them that day.
We were. I couldn't get up because my knees wouldn't get out.
Story.
But,
we don't need to go there.
But, yes, we have decided, we've talked about this, wanting to do it for a few years now. And Eric Dominguez and a couple other of our sponsors and group wanted to get together. And while we did our grand opening on the 25th, we thought about it then as well. We started setting up some of the things that we're going to do for our community. And part of what we do is absolutely we want to give back, and wanted to talk to you all and start bringing it up on the radio. So all of our listeners and all of the folks that participated last year, we're going to bring it out, let you know. And as we go, every few weeks, we'd like to come in, bring it up, and let you know where we are, and see if we can get some more folks involved this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we're trying to organize a time right now we've got 2 new TVs for them.
Excellent.
That we're going to deliver for them, because they have these little bitty TVs that they're supposed to be playing these games on and stuff. It's like, really?
Yep.
So we're going to take over some new TVs to them in the next couple of weeks.
But, it's really important. We talk about this all the time, giving back to the community, giving back to what we love to do,
what
as the Rat
realtors
Pack,
are about, and what mortgage people are about, and what insurance people are about.
That is correct.
At least these 3.
And when we adopted that 3 years ago as part of the Rat Pack, and our great sponsors and friends like Gina and Vaughn have really grabbed it as well and gone forward. Renee, obviously Gibson is one of them as well.
Yeah, she did an awesome job.
And, we're going to continue to do more things and more activities for them throughout the year. Not just make it a one-time event, but do something for them throughout the year, because really and truly these are individuals and children that have been taken out of their homes and that really want to have that love and that affection, that attention throughout the year versus just one time a year. So it's something really good. We're going to continue to talk about this. We're going to continue to obviously move forward and let all our listeners know about what we're doing as far as Christmas in July for the DePel Children's Center.
It's a lot of fun, and going down there is just extremely rewarding.
It really is.
In fact,
It really
I was
is.
just talking about that with Renee Gibson, and we actually threw around the idea of bringing them Easter baskets.
Yes.
So we're going to call down there and see if they want candy or chocolate or if that's okay or what the deal is down there. But I thought it'd be a great thing to bring them
You
Easter
are
baskets.
thinking about giving these children a sugar high, dropping off baskets of chocolate
Absolutely.
and then leaving.
And then leaving.
Absolutely. Peeps.
That's the
and
way to do it.
all of it.
That and a couple of cases of Coke.
Well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Easter morning, should they not have an Easter basket like everybody else? I just
Yes, they
but I just don't know what the deal is down there. But we should call and ask, because
Absolutely.
if they're open to it, we could definitely make that happen, and
Maybe we can find some sugar-free
we
stuff.
could bring them.
There we
some,
go.
Yeah,
There we go.
because they
Some
love
nice things
sugar-free stuff, don't they?
They do. Tastes like your shoe.
Anyway,
Well,
so
we definitely appreciate you guys and being our partners as well as our friends. And we would like to continue bringing up and giving updates and working with you all and all of your sponsors that helped last time.
We will
stick around.
definitely do
We're
so.
going to
Yes.
breakfast at the Egg and I afterwards. You're welcome. You and Vaughn are welcome to come join us.
Free breakfast, I'm in.
Free breakfast. Vaughn's
Hey,
Hey,
you know,
always
on the
saying
rat
and
pack?
she's still bringing me out of my shell. I'm just
Yes,
warning
I
you guys
know.
right now. You know.
Just leave it to Devers, as we say in the room.
leave it.
Well, you know, we have a great show. It started off obviously with really good talk about giving back to the community, but we have Dave Dickinson, who brought two great individuals.
Actually, individuals I have known for a few years.
That is correct, into the studio, and they were after my own heart because they started talking about comic books and all the movies that we have out there. So we'll try to stay on task today, but I can't
Yeah.
guarantee it. I cannot guarantee it. So we actually have Sean and Regina McCarthy.
Absolutely.
And we are here to talk a little bit about real estate and all the great things going on. And, you know, one of the things, it's very, very rarely, but when we announce that you guys are going to be on the show, we've had numerous people saying, I want to call in and talk to them. So I know we're going to have a lot of listeners that are going to be calling in here to talk to you. But before we do so, introduce yourselves to us. Let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Don't be afraid of the mic. Just
Don't
get right
be
up
afraid of the
there.
mic.
Ladies first. I am Gina McCarthy. I am co-owner of Sonnet Properties International, and I started real estate in 2009. I started working with my husband then after coming from an accounting career. Big change for me. And really what got me started in it was the fact that, like you guys were saying, adopting the policy of being able to give back to the community. And really, you have to have a passion for this because it is all about helping people, and it is not a 9-to-5. So that was really what spoke to me about getting into it.
I mean, it wasn't the 9-to-5 job you were anticipating?
No, it wasn't.
I'll tell you what, though, coming from an accounting background, I can tell you this, it does absolutely help understand how to run a business because obviously this is a business. This is not just a paycheck.
Yes, it does. And it helps you to have be detail oriented because that's how you have to be in accounting. So it not only helps you with the finance end, but it helps you to be able to look at all the little details for your clients.
That is awesome. Now, Sean, how about you? How did you get involved?
Well, I'd like to say that I've always had a passion for real estate, but that's not true.
It'd be a lie. It'd be a lie.
It would be a lie. I mean, you know, I just wanted to help people. I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a lawyer. Have family members that, you know, were in those vocations and, you know, wanted to do something different. So, you know, I just kind of fell into real estate. I started working for a builder, and I saw that there was a specific need, especially in the first-time homebuyer market, and understanding what it was in order to begin the process in purchasing a home, finding out the different programs, different loan options, the different choices in terms of, you know, either going new construction and doing resale. So I started in that route, and then I decided that, you know what, I'm pretty good at it, and we're getting referrals, and eventually I got my real estate license, and from there it just grew, and started a company with another partner of ours, and a few years ago we decided that, you know what, it's time for us to kind of branch out and do our own thing, and here we are in 2016, taking a deep breath. We're up to about 18 agents going strong, and we're rocking and rolling and not looking back.
You know, it's always curious. I'm going to ask this question because sometimes people don't like to ask. How is it working, husband and wife? How is it? How does that dynamic?
Gina started cracking up.
Yeah,
Does that tell
exactly.
you anything?
Gina's laughing right now. Exactly. You know, how is that dynamic though? Because So we see some very successful teams and business owners out there. They're husband and wife, but there can be some challenges along the way. Obviously, how do you sort of walk in the door and say, okay, now this is husband and wife versus business husband and wife?
Of course, look who answers that.
Exactly.
Gina's going to be the one
Yeah.
answer.
She's like, I'm taking that one right
I'm
now.
going to tell you how it's working.
Yeah, well, I mean, being in real estate, we're never really not business husband and wife because real estate's 24/7. So, but at the same time, we have that kind of, okay, this is the time where we're going to have for family. You have to put aside that time. But it is a challenge because you have to kind of know when to shut it off. I started out as, he trained me basically. So I learned everything that I knew from him. So, when he was trying, I didn't have off time in the beginning. So it was a little bit of a challenge for me. But now, we kind of have that, okay, we're just going to say this is the time where we're going to go to the movies or do this or do that. And it's just going to be our family time.
And you never talk about real estate on off time at all, right?
Oh, not at all.
Not at
didn't
all.
think so.
Zero.
So tell me, I know when I first met y'all, you were the company that was doing nothing, basically focusing on new home buyers. Or, they're in the market for the very first times. What are the challenges that faces a brand new buyer?
I think the biggest challenge is just literacy, finding out, what do I need to do in order to get started? What loan programs are out there that are available that I can qualify for? Where do I stand as far as my credit score? My credit score is not where it needs to be. What do I need to do in order to get on the path to home
You call our
ownership?
great sponsor CRE.
Yes.
Absolutely.
James, I hope you're listening.
So, that's the first thing. And then what we do is we take it from there. We sit down with the client and we, put together an action plan and really just break it down, make it so it's digestible for them to move forward in the home buying process, because there's so much information out there, especially now. When I first got into this business, 12 years ago, there wasn't really a lot of information on the internet in terms of different programs, different builders, so on and so forth. And so now with the advent in technology, social media, and what have you, you're just dealing with so much information, so it becomes information overload. So what we really try to do is get in tune with the client and find out what are their goals, what is their financial tolerance in terms of what mortgage payment can they afford, and just break down a plan step by step on what we need to do, and just hold their hand throughout the process. And that's one of the major challenges that we have when we're dealing with clients. The second challenge is, and we're in the Houston area, is we're in a market right now where it's hot. Okay,
Just slightly hot.
just slightly, slightly, better than lukewarm. So the biggest challenge is understanding, okay, once we get you approved, once we get everything ironed out as far as your loan approval and whatnot, keep in mind, when we're looking at resale homes, it's going to be a multiple offer situation. And so what we then have to think about is, okay, what do we need to do in order to stack the deck in your favor in terms of getting a winning offer on your home? Okay. So once we, explain to the client and show them, what challenges we're up against as far as that's concerned, and get them, to, be a team player, so to speak, then we're able to take the step further and get that accepted offer. Once we get that accepted offer, then there's a whole other set of challenges that we have to overcome as far as going through the option period, going through the inspections, working out the particulars as far as the home is concerned. But the good thing is, and I want to say a shout out to, the people that we do business with, is number one, what we really try to focus on is we tell them, look, we take a team approach to real estate. You're not just relying upon our wisdom, our experience. We have a team of lenders that we work with, our lender partners. We have people in title that we work with. We have people on when it comes to home warranties. We have relationships with different home builders. So it really literally takes a village in order to help a buyer or a seller, with their real estate needs. And so that takes a lot of the edge off of the whole home purchase / selling process.
You know, and you mentioned, I love the aspect that you start off with literacy, because there is a lot of information out there. There's also a lot of bad information out there. And so, you know, a lot of times you have individuals that will come to you and they will say, hey, I was reading this on the internet. And so it's important to be able to...
Got to be true.
It's got to be true, right? It's on the internet. So, you know, it's important to be able to go through and disseminate that information, be able to say, okay, so here's the reality of what exists today. Here's our town, USA. Here's Houston or the Woodlands or Spring or wherever you want to be. Here's the reality of what's going on today, because I tell everybody all the time, the market, real estate is a regional transaction. It's a local market.
It's actually micro.
And it's a micro side of things. Whatever's going on in California is not what's representative here in Houston.
And also what's going on in the Woodlands is not happening in Sugar Land.
That is
We
correct.
are micro markets. It's a big, you know, we cover 7 counties, but it's still, each little pocket is different.
Every single pocket is different. You know, and I'm getting a signal, by the way, that we are coming up against
I thought he was saying we were number one.
I thought he was saying we were number one also, but what he was really saying is hurry up and get off so we can come back. We have a lot of phone calls right now that are piling up on us. When we get back, we're going to continue on with Sean and Gina, and we're going to start getting some of these phone calls right here. But stay tuned. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. We're taking it down.